Master Oogway once said, "You're too concerned for what was and what will be. Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called the present." I have no idea if anyone has used this for a senior speech yet, and it makes total sense if someone already has. It's a quote that hits really close to home. It's a quote that is resonating with me more and more over the past few years, and especially in 2020. I think it's obvious that this year has been really terrible for all of us. The world feels like it's falling apart. The world feels like it's falling apart around me sometimes. Our country is divided more than perhaps ever. A highly contagious disease has rampaged across our country for nearly a year now. Um, and in my case, my stress about school has only increased, especially given that I'm a senior. My productivity and motivation have pretty much fallen through the floor and have probably pierced through the earth's crust at this point. In the past year, the future loomed over me, casting a dark shadow that made me feel doubtful and depressed. My head was full of these thoughts. Am I going to make it to college? Is there any point in trying to succeed when the world seems like it's falling apart every day? Will the last few years turn out to be a waste of time? Am I the waste of time? For a few months, I couldn't bear the thought of it all being a waste. It overwhelmed me. I avoided my obligations because I felt that my own responsibilities were simply overshadowed by the change that needed to be made for our country. It felt like nothing was worth doing anymore, but at the same time, it felt like the need to do something was all I had. For example, at the start of quarantine last year, I set a bunch of goals for myself because I thought I'd have more time to set myself up for success. And don't get me wrong, I do have a lot more time. I just spent most of that time depressed and unable to get out of bed. For those who also set unreasonably high expectations for productivity, remember that this is and probably will be one of the most mentally and physically taxing points of our lives. It's understandable to not be doing as well as you usually do or to be having off days perhaps every day. So basically, there was a huge disconnect between my two beliefs. It felt like I was failing myself and others at every turn, but also that it was never worth caring for. I felt that in the grand scheme of things, I didn't matter, so there was no point in anything. Now, you're probably wondering how my own experience fits at all with my chosen quote. You are too concerned for what was and what will be. One might figure that it suggests that you shouldn't care about what was and what will be, that it suggests to go with the flow of things, roll with the punches, submit to fate, however one prefers to see it. I beg to differ, though. Yesterday is history. That is what you can't control. What has happened has already happened, even if we don't necessarily like what has happened. And tomorrow is a mystery. We don't know what will happen. This world and this life doesn't offer any absolutes. Nothing is set in stone. We could have days like yesterday, or we can have days that are completely different from it. We'll never know. But today is a gift. Today we can choose how to react to the past. Today we can choose whether or not we will get up after we're pushed down. Today we can choose whether or not we'll let our wrongdoings define us. Today we can choose whether or not we dwell on those who do wrong by us. Today we can choose whether or not the stress about the problems in the world that we can't control will interfere with what we can. Today we can change our future. Today we can change how we treat others. And today we can change how we treat ourselves. The worries of yesterday and tomorrow may feel overwhelming, but we can't forget how much power we have over today. Thank you. Okay. Shout outs. Ms. Gelbart, thank you so much for pushing me to join AP Studio last year. Like, she's not here right now, but if she comes across this video, I'll just email it to her. I think it's the best choice I could have made for my future, and I really appreciate that you guided me through it and found it daunting and tough. Miss Hodges, I miss you a lot. I hope you're doing well at your new job, and I'm so glad we had you for the first 3 years of high school. I hope you remember our antics in homeroom and the doodles we leave for you in your English classes on the whiteboard. Above all else, thank you for being there for me when I was stressed and with school and softball in general. Miss Mundy, thank you for joining our advisory. To be honest, I thought they were going to spread us all out with across other advisories, so I'm glad you helped us out and took us in. Miss Blanchette, even if it was short-lived, thank you too for joining our advisor. And thank you for helping me in pre-calc and being a little bit more patient with me, given the whole situation. Miss Ballier, I'm gonna miss your English classes. I was only around for like 2 of them, but I appreciated your teaching style and how easy it was to talk to you about things both in school and out of school. Miss Rudolph, thank you for taking me in during my free time last year, my free period. Additionally, I love the way you teach AP Art History and your passion and interest in the subject. I was already interested in the subject, but your enthusiasm for it makes me excited for learning. On to my friends. Odina, I can't say thank you enough for being there for me when I needed it. You and I have been through the thick and the thin together. I also want to say thank you for being so welcoming to me in freshman and sophomore year when I felt like I didn't belong anywhere. You're my best friend, and I hope we can stay in touch after graduation. Jalen, even if you're not here this year, thank you so much for being a great friend over the past few years. I'm going to miss playing Smash Bros. At lunch, even if most of the time you're just tossing me around in different combos. And the local we went to was fun, even though I got completely destroyed in the tournament bracket. Jack, thanks for talking politics and anime with me during advisory and breaks sometimes. You've always got interesting perspectives, and your knowledge and understanding of current events and the political climate just tells me you're bound for great things. Riley, I know we don't talk too much, but thank you for being so enthusiastic about my art. I never thought anyone would be interested in buying my art, but you gave me the courage and confidence in my work to start out commissions. Cooper, although we don't talk too much either, thank you for playing Smash Bros. With me and talking anime during break. We didn't get to talk much because of COVID this year, but I hope you're doing well. For those at the lunch table, you know who you are. Thanks for welcoming me in, even though I don't say much. I'm a better listener than I am a speaker, and there were always interesting conversations to be had at the table. Maria, I can't ask for a greater sister and a best friend in my life. Words can't describe how thankful I am to you. You give me so much courage and confidence when I think I have none. You're a shoulder I can cry on when, and you always help to reassure me and cool my anxieties. I'm so proud that you got into Bethune-Cookman and your hard work has paid off. And finally, to my mom and dad, thank you so much for just getting me here. Of course, I got to keep up the grades and stuff, but I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys. I'll be forever grateful. Thank you.